Putin mocks President Trump's peace efforts. Unfortunately, after the summit in Alaska, instead of a ceasefire, we had an intensification of Russian attacks on Ukraine. And what happened over the Polish sky last night is a splinter of this intensified offensive against Ukraine. Since then, we have also had a meeting of these authoritarian powers in Beijing. And we had a visit from the President of Polish, Karol Nawrocki, so I expect that President Trump will want to show Poland and all our authorities that what he said about the security of Polish will be supported by deeds. In this case, there were 19 breaches and it simply defies imagination. That could be accidental. We have invoked article for that. Take a look at precedents at what happened when other allies did that when Turkey did it, when she felt endangered by events in the air during the Syrian civil war. Additional Patriot missiles were sent to Turkey. We need to create what Ursula von der Leyen called today in the European Parliament at her annual State of the Union address, a drone wall. This is a threat not only to Poland. This new technology of the mass use of drones is a threat to all of the EU and NATO, and we need to face it together. Allied mechanisms within NATO worked. Polish, Dutch, Italian and German forces took part in the action, for which we would like to thank the Allies. What the Poles experienced last night, on a much larger, more tragic scale, is experienced by our Ukrainian neighbors almost every night. Let's remember this. Let us show solidarity with Ukraine. Let's not repeat Russian disinformation. And it is Russia that should finally come to the conclusion that the attempt to rebuild the last European empire has no chance of success. As far as I know, there were, but please ask the Ministry of Defense for details. The fact that they came from Belarus is an additional factor to believe that it was a planned action. Because if these were accidental violations, we would expect them from Ukraine. As far as Belarus is concerned, as you know, relations with this neighboring country are unfortunately not good. They result from what Belarus is doing. We have decided to completely close the Polish-Belarusian border. I hope President Lukashenko understands that patience has run out.
The first airspace violation over our country has been recorded. The last one we recorded took place around 6:30 a.m., so that gives you an idea of the scale of this operation. It lasted all night long. "19 violations were recorded and precisely measured. These specific airspace violations, and I am addressing all the inhabitants of Polish. Any suspicious object that may resemble, for example, the remains of a drone, may pose a threat. For the first time, a significant portion of these drones flew over Poland directly from Belarus. After identifying the threat, we began combating objects we deemed to pose a direct threat to our security. We currently have confirmed the downing of 3 drones. It is very likely that a 4th was also launched. The fact that these drones, which directly threaten our security, were downed is, of course, a success for our and NATO's military, but it also changes the situation, the political situation. That's why these allied consultations I'm talking about will now take the form of a formal request to activate Article 4 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Article 4, as you know, is what I want to convey to the public. This is not our war. This is not just a war for Ukrainians. This is a war. This is a confrontation that Russia has declared on the entire free world. And this must finally be understood by everyone, without exception. Thank you very much.